The saga between Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and their former Judgment Day teammates continued tonight on the USA Network as Monday Night Raw rolled into Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Would Mommy and the Archer of Infamy get their hands on Dominic Mysterio and Women's World Champion Liv Morgan ahead of their mixed tag team match at Bash in Berlin on August 31st? Or would the Cowardly Heels evade punishment once again? Find out now with this recap of a broadcast featuring the latest in Randy Orton's pursuit of the World Heavyweight Championship held by Gunther and CM Punk's blood feud with Drew McIntyre. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting perhaps the presence of the Phenom Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw live tonight. They call it the FLA Live Arena in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but in all honesty, it's technically the Amerant Bank Center, the home of the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. And you can't think of a better way to start it off than with Randy Orton coming to the ring, cutting a promo, interrupted by the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, and then also interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser. And it sets up our main event for this evening. Randy Orton, one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. So, well, I'll tell you what, an absolute monster pop for the Viper only further solidifies that he is a timeless performer who is and will forever be perpetually over. And Gunther told Randy Orton to celebrate the RKO from last week because it will be the only celebrating he does at Bash in Berlin. He said, and I quote, "All you have managed to do was make this very, very personal." This was a strong opening segment in which we saw how disgraced Gunther was after suffering the RKO, going as far as to promise a bloodied Orton in Berlin. He intensified the rivalry with the introduction of Ludwig Kaiser, who was a dangerous ally against an Orton suddenly on an island and without Kevin Owens or even Cody Rhodes to back him up, as was the case on SmackDown. So like I said, strong opening segment here, and it sets up an interesting main event, a first-time main event, Randy Orton versus Ludwig Kaiser later tonight, and we'll address that in our main event. So not much more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Your man, your boy, Randy Orton, starting the show, interrupted by Gunther, and then Ludwig Kaiser gets involved. Strong opening segment, setting up a first time ever, a fresh main event with Orton and Kaiser.
Yeah, no, strong opening segment, strong opener. Orton pretty much played paint by numbers. Did a really good job to sell what he needs to do. Gunther comes back with a nice retort, basically ripping on Orton about, hey, you got away with that RKO. You're not going to get away with that a second time around. And I thought they did it really good. And then, of course, Kaiser doing the bidding for the World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, no, like we said, solid opener, nothing bad to say. Anthony, let's move on. It's yours.
And MF, we move on to the first match of the night, a Be a Man fight. Ho, did we get a Be a Man fight here? Sheamus squaring off against Pete Dunne. Before we get into that, though, unfortunately, I got to be the bad news bearer here this evening. Get a good look at Pat McAfee, folks, because you're not going to be, the next time you're going to be seeing him is 5 months from now.
Oh,
Pat McAfee. Unfortunately, this is his final Monday Night Raw of 2024. He will not be back until Raw moves to Netflix in January. At least that's the good news. But but he did make the announcement, of course, because college football technically starts this weekend with week 0.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee and the College Game Day crew will be heading to Dublin, Ireland, Aviva Stadium, where the Florida State Seminoles will open up against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And we'll have a preview of that game this week on one of the shows. So I believe on Friday night, actually, and I'll address that at the end. But it was announced by Pat McAfee that Sheamus is going to serve as the guest picker. They do a guest picker near the end of the show, and Sheamus is going to serve as guest picker for week number 0. of College Game Day. But Sheamus squared off against Pete Dunne, and Sheamus won the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. MF, you want to talk about a be a man fight? This literally was one.
Yeah, and again, the one thing that we always hear about Sheamus is banger after banger after banger, and he did it again, folks. He did it again. There's really nothing more to say on this. This was an incredible match. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours. Three and a half stars.
3.5 stars, and I'll tell you what, like I said, Pat McAfee revealed that Sheamus will be the guest picker on the first international edition of ESPN's College Game Day this Saturday, live from Dublin, Ireland. And Pat McAfee and Michael Cole openly discussing TNA wrestler Joe Hendry ahead of his match against Pete Dunne and Wes Lee on NXT tomorrow night is wild. But more importantly, this was a hell of a match, as expected. Sheamus continued to wrestle some of his best matches late in his career, while Pete Dunne is finally getting the opportunity to showcase his immense talents as himself on the main roster. A great match with a hot crowd and some fine work from both men. This was pay-per-view worthy, honestly. 3.5 stars for me. No question about that. No question about that. So we move on. We had Maxine Dupree squaring off against Ivy Nile. The match between them never had a chance to get started as the Wyatt Six made their presence felt, attacking American Mage, Chad Gable, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile. The assault concluded with Uncle Howdy entering the ring from behind Chad Gable and delivering a Sister Abigail. The segment ensured the feud will continue, but before that, showcased Dupree as an intense and aggressive fighter who may not always be the most polished wrestler, but whose emotions tell the story. That, coupled with the Wyatt beatdown, elevated this above average, and Gable officially labeled the heels American Made and vowed that their issues with the Wyatt Six are far from finished. They should have been. The group interfered in the match with Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Nikki Cross laying out the heels and posing to end the segment. And MF, next Monday night in Providence, you and I will be there along with Michael Bullock. We're getting Uncle Howdy in the ring in his first official match against Chad Gable. We're getting that in Providence next week. MF, can you imagine the Wyatt Six spectacle in Providence next week?
Dear Lord. Holy cow. Uncle Howdy himself in the ring. Yo, I don't know, man. This is gonna be insane to witness next week in Prov. I mean, God, are we what? How did we get that lucky, man? How? That's incredible. What a moment. I'm excited. It's yeah, they done an incredible job. There's really nothing more to say. They done an incredible job.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your quick thought on that because, I mean, we've seen it on television. I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to see, this whole Wyatt Six Fiend thing.
I was fortunate enough to watch Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family come out.
Oh, yes.
So I showed that photo, or Megan Silva, who is my colleague for that night, and you saw the fireflies. So we've seen it. I felt it. I was in the building when that happened. Now, from what I've been told, this is different. This is something more than just the fireflies. Get ready for an experience, Florio, is what I've been told.
Oh, man, I can't wait. That, in the immortal words of you and Gorilla, it's going to be something else, man. I'm telling you.
It's going to be happening, brother. It's gonna
happen. Oh, you better believe it. Oh, wow. Obviously, it's an NA. I mean, because we didn't even have a match. So we're not going to really I mean, it was thrown out. So, but my God, that is going to be a sight, man. Okay, CM Punk. We had another in-ring segment. It was CM Punk with a leather strap coming out with a leather strap over his neck, and we have made it official. It was interrupted by Drew McIntyre, and Punk made his way to the ring with a leather strap, and after applauding the fans for their role in WWE's hot streak, and rightfully so, revealed that he would face Drew McIntyre in a strap match at Bash in Berlin. Now, the rules are very simple. It's going to be the old school traditional strap match. The first man to touch all four corners, the top four corners of the turnbuckles. First man to touch all four corners wins the match. Simple as that. Think of it as almost like that Caribbean strap match at the Beware of Dog in 1996 with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Savio Vega. Think about it like that. So, as a prime example. So, okay. Another very good segment here. CM Punk said, and I quote, "I'm Taylor Swift for men." Not at all a line I expected to hear on Monday Night Raw, but here we are, and it's not all that accurate. Not all that inaccurate, rather. Punk said, "I want this strap match so I can whip this biatch," he said of the newly announced match. And McIntyre said, "I have a question. I'm 100% serious. Have you started drinking?" McIntyre asked in response to the revelation. So, nothing more for me to add on to that, except another very good segment here. And we get ourselves another big match for Bash in Berlin, a match that we expected after the events of last week. So, not much more to say. MF, CM Punk doing what he does best, playing up to the crowd like he always does, and Punk and McIntyre running it back in Berlin. Strap match rules. First to touch all four turnbuckle corners wins the match.
Yeah, and the other thing that you need to know about that is that it has to be in succession. It cannot be without any break or any interruption. You have to go each corner successfully and hit the top of it. Because at any point, if there is an interruption or a stoppage, then it does not count. It gets waved off, and you got to restart again from scratch. But it is going to be violent. It is going to be bad. The rivalry is legit. It is raw. It is real. This had to be the match it had to be. So I'm cool with it going down like this. So I can't wait for it to happen. Nothing more to say. Yeah, this was one of those top segments of the evening for me. Anthony, back to you.
All right, we move on to the 6-man tag team matchup, the Final Testament. Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor. They had Scarlett and Paul Ellering in their corner, squaring off against Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Odyssey Jones. And it was Kofi, Xavier, and Odyssey winning the match in an even 8 minutes. MF, I'm a little surprised here because, in all honesty, I was honestly expecting the heel turn of this has got to be where Xavier turns. I know Xavier's going to turn right here. No, he did not, and I think it's another classic case of what has made this Papa H regime so damn successful: long-term booking.
And not only that, but if you notice, they actually partially buried the hatchet. You saw that they were on the same page. They were on the same thing. So for now, the New Day is whole. Now, does that mean that they'll be whole for long term, like down the line? Most likely not. There could be a point where there might be some dissension or there might be an implosion. But right now, they're giving us the feel that everything is good. Everything is united. Everybody is happy. It's a kumbaya moment, as they say. I'm good with it. I have nothing bad without it. Match itself, not bad. Pretty good. I'll give this about 3.25 stars. But like you said, I think we were looking for some kind of implosion. We didn't get it tonight. Maybe they're holding it off for some time down the line. We'll see. But to me, I'm happy with it. I didn't mind it. I loved it. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
After the match, Xavier Woods looked less than thrilled with the win. Clearly disappointed by the blossoming friendship between Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones and the idea that they may make up a revamped version of the New Day. Yeah, I mean, a solid match here. 2.5, 2 3/4 for me. It was fine for what it was, and added a little bit to the story, and we'll see what happens down the line. So, and Michael Cole repeatedly echoed Karrion Kross's reminders that Xavier Woods has yet to win a singles championship in WWE. Xavier Woods is an 11-time tag team champion, as well as the 2021 King of the Ring. And you notice when Kofi made the hot tag to Odyssey, you saw that look on Xavier's face. He was pissed. He was visibly upset about his longtime partner choosing the newcomer over him. And Woods continued to express frustration and disappointment after the bell, despite winning. So there's definitely more than that meets the eye. So 2.5, 2 3/4. We move on to a no disqualification match. The Miz squaring off against Big Bronson Reed, MF's new favorite wrestler as of late. And good news, MF, your new favorite wrestler has won. He went on to win the match, of course. Big Bronson Reed wins the match. 8 minutes and 15 seconds for this one. Another 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. And I'll get to the good stuff in just a moment. Let's see here. Miz admitted to general manager Adam Pearce that he was not sure that he wanted a match with Bronson Reed, but he would fight for his friend and partner R-Truth, who, as we all saw, was viciously beaten by the big man last week. And listen to the crowd as Bronson Reed climbs the ropes for the tsunami. They come alive, roaring in shock and horror as he prepares to deliver another. It is proof of the effectiveness of the move. And then after the match was over, you saw Bronson Reed. He went back up, and MF was like, yes, he's going to do it again. And and then MF would say, next victim. And then MF was standing like Pat McAfee would. That was until he heard a sound he did not expect to hear. Roar! And then MF was like, what? Yes. Miz got saved by the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4 for the match. MF, you didn't get to celebrate a Bronson Reed beatdown tonight, thanks to Braun Strowman. And guess what? Next week, Providence.
Oh no! I hope they reinforce the ring next week, because dear freaking Lord.
You knew I was hoping you'd say that, Monsoon. You knew I was hoping for it.
Yeah.
You did. So yes, it is going to happen next week, MF. Big Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, a battle of big men that should result in some fun matches. And if Reed emerges from the feud victoriously, this will go a long way in establishing him as a main event heel on Monday Night Raw. So with that, MF, 2.5, 2 3/4 is my rating for the match, but Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman next week in Providence. Oh my God.
That's gonna be wild. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be a great match. Big men slapping me. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, it's gonna be very good. I don't know what else there is to say. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be wild. But yeah, there's really nothing more to say. The match was fine. Yes, I was eating it up. I was in awe of it with the whole 9 yards and everything else, and I really wanted it for that to happen. And the next thing you know, yeah, it was incredible. So I got my moment. I got the I got the moment. I got what I needed to say. It was incredible. It was wow. And then after that, it was yeah. So it was good for what it was worth. When Brock when I was like, this big oversized goof had to ruin my moment. But you know, like I said, it was good. Bullock and Florio were like, oh, and I was like, oh no, this big oversized goof. And they're like, that's the monster among monsters. I like, yeah, that's a big son of a. And then Florio cut me off by saying, hey, watch your mouth. It's a PG show. So, yeah, so, they, like I said, we had really good commentary moments on this one. So, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
You thought that was fun? Wait till next week.
Hmm.
Get that tsunami ready. That's all I'm saying. Get the tsunami ready.
Oh, I'm already knowing what I'm going to say.
All right. And now we move on to, well, what has been far and away MF's favorite story on Monday Night Raw. The latest in the saga of the Judgment Day. Of course, mainly Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. We were scheduled. It looked like we were going to have a match with Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest, but the match never happened. Judgment Day attacking, and they attacked Damian, and then for a moment, Dominic Mysterio was caught between the Ultimate Rock and a hard place. Rhea on one side, Damian on the other. And Rhea Ripley was going for a rip. She was going to rip tie Dominic through the announce table. That was until another timely save by the women's world champion Liv Morgan. And then that's when all hell breaks loose. Liv beats the hell out of Rhea. Damian 4-on-1 beatdown at the hands of the Judgment Day. And that's the story. So obviously this is another no rating. But man alive, the heels needed it. I mean, Judgment Day needed it.
Oh,
After
yeah,
weeks
definitely.
Of the baby faces standing tall, they finally got heat on Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, making their eventual revenge that much more anticipated by the fans, and it could come as early as Berlin. So there isn't much more to say. MF, Judgment Day laid the trap for Damian. It worked to perfection almost. We thought Rhea was going to get her ultimate revenge on Dom. Liv makes the timely save again, and at the end of the night, Judgment Day stands tall as we inch closer to the most anticipated mixed tag match in history at Berlin.
Yeah, and it was very interesting because when it came to that war and everything that was going on, I think we kind of thought deep down, how's this going to play out? How's this going to look? And you know that there is a little bit of an underlying thing because, you know, if they didn't need Damian, they could have instantly inserted Jey Uso. And there's a little thing going on. I don't know if you saw this on social media. How mommy's wearing a bracelet that says Yeet.
Yeet.
And we kind of were hitting on that, and we're like, oh wait, what?
I dropped it.
So,
I dropped that in our chat.
Yep. So there's really nothing more to say. But yeah. It was a no rating because the fight never got off the ground. Fight never got off the ground.
It's like Ivy and Maxine earlier.
Yeah. So there's no point for it. There's no reason for it. We just have to see how it plays out. But my goodness, what a night. So yeah, nothing more to say, Anthony. It's all you.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, like I said, the heels needed it after weeks of the babyfaces standing tall. They finally got the heat on Rhea and Damian and making their eventual revenge that much more anticipated. by us, the fans. So I hope we get some more of this next week. That's all I'm hoping for. Triple threat match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. The champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, defending the titles against Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane. And the Pure Fusion Collective, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark with Sonya Deville in their corner. Winners of the match, 9 minutes and 25 seconds. And still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Unholy Union, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. The action-packed match saw some strong in-ring chemistry among the 6 women, not the least of being that of longtime rivals Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, and told the story of resourceful champions. And Damage Control, clear babyface tandem here, which is surprising given how clearly heel they were as late as a month ago. Michael Cole recalled the history between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, which was integral to the evolution of the women's division in NXT post 4 Horsewomen. The finish was incredible. The champions continue to find ways to win, but not in a cheap way like some heel teams. They're out wrestling opponents. So with that being said, Fire and Dawn will take those women's tag team championships with them to SmackDown Friday night in Washington, D.C. when they team up with Blair Davenport to take on Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill in a highly anticipated 6-woman tag that we'll address this week. So not much more to say on this. Sleeper fight of the night, 3 to 3.25 stars for me. So MF, the champions stay the champions, and they'll be taking the belts with them to SmackDown Friday night.
Agreed. It was one of those matches, or one of those battles. 3.25 for me. I thought it was a solid match. It was a great battle, and credit to all 6 women for absolutely bringing it tonight. I thought they did a really good job. At the end of the day, the right team won, and that's why I appreciate everything that went down. So nothing more to say. Anthony, let's move on.
Yes, indeed. And let's see. Okay. First things first. Before we get to the main event, they did a nice little tribute video for Pat McAfee, because as we all know, unfortunately, this will be the last Monday Night Raw for Pat McAfee for the remainder of 2024. He will not be back on Raw until Raw moves to Netflix in January. So I hope you all got a good look at him, because you're not going to be seeing him on Raw until then. But the affection that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee have for one another seems very sincere, and it's nice to see another top-notch production by the production team. That production team just keeps getting better and better and better each and every week with their tribute videos, especially the ones they've done most recently for the likes of Sika and Kevin Sullivan, and most recently Afa. I mean, very, very nice. All right. Next Monday Night Raw will be live from the Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode Island. Myself, MF, and Michael Bullock will be there. You already know 2 of the matches for next week. Braun Strowman versus Big Bronson Reed, and the in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy when he squares off against Chad Gable. And in addition to that, you think it couldn't get any better than that? Oh, it does. How about the start of a number 1 contenders tournament for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? Braun Breaker's next challenger is going to be revealed through a number 1 contenders tournament. And slightly before that, main event Jey Uso declared his intention. So is there a possibility that one of those tournament matches next week could possibly involve main event Jey Uso?
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is the moment where I wish Pat McAfee was still on the show. Yes. Because he would have been, just to see him doing the Yeet dance in Providence is one of the reasons why we came to the show. We wanted this event. But the
thing is, we'll do it in spirit. So myself, Bullock, MF, don't you worry. You're gonna see video of us yeeting next week. Believe you me when I tell you. And if he is in one of those matches, I hope he comes down through the crowd, man. Especially where we're gonna be sitting. Oh yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. All right, main event of the evening: Randy Orton squaring off against Ludwig Kaiser. To the surprise of none of us, highly predictable outcome. Randy Orton wins the match, but it was in 14 and a half minutes. So I don't know what else there is to say except this was the fight of the night here. No doubt about it. Just about 4 stars for this. Somewhere between 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was an excellent match between one of the most cerebral workers on the roster, wink, wink, and another wrestling intelligent performer. Ludwig Kaiser hung in with one of the best to ever do it. Never looked out of place and could have easily won here had there been momentum on his side. Instead, the Viper RKO'd him out of nowhere for the win. And what else is there to say? So, 3 3/4, teetering on 3.5 to 4 stars, I should say. So it's right around that 3.5 to 4. It's most certainly the fight of the night here, despite the highly predictable outcome. But MF, like I said, the outcome never in doubt. We all knew Orton was going to win it, but damn it to hell, man. Ludwig Kaiser, he hung with your boy, and kudos to Randy Orton. He made him look like a damn near $1 million tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to give this at least 3 3/4. I thought they did a really good job. I thought it was a solid main event. I thought they did an incredible job working with everything included. And yes, at the end of the day, Randy Orton keeps the momentum going. I cannot wait to see the Viper next week in Providence, man. Every time I get the, if there's one guy that gets me every time, it's Orton. Anytime, and Florio, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
You know it. Anytime Orton shows up in that city, in Providence, man, it's yeah.
You'll be doing the pose. I know you will be. I hope you do.
Yeah, you want to catch me doing it too, you son of a.
You damn right I am. You better
sure.
Believe me, Uncle Tony's gonna have some pictures and videos next week.
All right.
Trust me when I tell you. So,
yep.
Not just of that, but everything. So, yeah.
And trust me, guys, we do go, like, when we do Monday Night Raw, we go all out. Now, I like to do just the regular photos. I don't like to do videos because I don't know why. I just don't. Anthony normally does all the videos.
Yes.
At least of the entrances.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do any live in-ring stuff. Don't worry. But entrances, fair game.
Yes. And I'll tell you right now, if we were in Fort Lauderdale tonight during that Ivy and Maxine match when the Wyatt Six interrupted, I would have jumped right there.
Yeah,
I would have. Believe you me, I would have. But anyways, so you say 3 3/4 for the main event.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into our overall review. So MF, Fort Lauderdale, the home of the Stanley Cup champs. How did we do tonight?
Pretty good. I say pretty good. I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of about 7.5 out of 10. I thought they did a good job. There was really nothing bad. It was nice and good momentum, and they did incredible job. Nothing bad to say. So solid layout. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, tonight was another in a line of quality shows from WWE that continued the strength of ongoing storytelling. We got the latest of Randy Orton versus Gunther, the next chapter in the Judgment Day storyline, and the continuation of Xavier Woods' descent into jealousy as part of the feud with the Final Testament. All of it was effectively booked, with an eye on next weekend's Bash in Berlin pay-per-view, and the result was a focused, almost workman-like show. Not quite a blowaway one, but one that hit its marks and made the Bash card that much more intriguing to see what will happen. So, I agree. Solid 7.5 out of 10. And we'll see what happens in Providence next week. So with that being said, let's move on to my Tony's take now. And you know how we do it as always. It's TNA Impact and NXT Level Up. And got some big news coming out of TNA. I will tell you that right now. Especially when it comes to the big special coming up on TNA Plus called Emergence. That'll be going down not this Friday, but the following one on the 30th. So bear with me for a moment here as I pull this up. Whoops, wrong button. Okay. Coming up now. Here we go. In here somewhere. Okay. All right. Of course, we continue the tapings. TNA Impact continue their tapings from the Florida State Fairgrounds in Tampa, Florida. We started it off with a three-way match for an Ultimate X qualifier. Chris Bay versus John Schuyler versus NXT's Riley Osborne of Chase University. Winner of the match in 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And moving on to the Ultimate X match at Emergence. I can't believe I'm saying this. Riley Osborne got the win. NXT will be represented in this in the Ultimate X match at Emergence. Pretty much the definition of it was fun while it lasted, but how much can you get out of a match that only runs about 6 minutes? Nice to see someone from NXT getting into the Ultimate X, as you can throw him in there without needing him to take a loss to avoid making him champion. Nice match, and as usual, the X division makes for a good opener, 2.5 stars. Then we had Tasha Steelz squaring off against Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw wins the match in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. 2 stars, 2.25. They were rushing through things here due to the lack of time, but Shaw getting a win to even the score helps her a lot. It still seems like Shaw versus Gail Kim might be a possibility for Bound for Glory, but at some point it needs to be Shaw winning a title. She's been around long enough that she needs to win something, and that it's gotten so close so many times. Now it has to happen. Mike Santana squaring off against Moose. Moose wins the match in 11 minutes and 26 seconds. 3.25 stars. There's a good chance that Santana's going to need some help to fight back against the system, as he feels like a big enough name to go after the team, but there was only so much he can do on his own. I'm not sure I would have had Santana lose again, but at least he had the arm injury and the numbers game to hold him off. For now, though, Santana looked good in defeat, though. That shouldn't be happening too often. And then after the match was over, he got saved by Joe Henry. Joe Henry came out and made the save. And he announces that we will have a tag team match on the next show. Moose and Johnny Dango Curtis of the System squaring off against the Hardys. That's right, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Ace, and then another qualifier match, Ace Austin versus Rich Swann versus Jason Hotch. And Jason Hotch wins the match, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Like the opener, they didn't have much time to make it work, especially with so much going on other than the action itself. 2 people getting involved in a 3-person match, which is quite a bit in a match that was only about 6 minutes. I like the surprise ending, as it would have seemed Hotch was there to take the fall, but they went the other way instead. Nice stuff, especially given the situation. Main event of the evening, TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, Nick Nemeth, defending against challenger and former champion in his own right, and the longest reigning TNA Heavyweight Champion of all time at 348 days, that being Josh Alexander. The match ends in a 30-minute time limit draw. 4.5 stars, fight of the night. They were getting going near the end there, and it was a good back-and-forth match. Even if the ending feels like a way to set up a rematch at Emergence, you're only going to get so much out of seeing them fight for 30 minutes and then wanting to see them do it again on a major show. But Nemeth needs such an opponent. Great main event here, especially if you accept that Alexander can be a bit dry. 8 out of 10. This was definitely the wrestling-focused show with 2 Ultimate X qualifiers, a big match in the middle, and the world title main event. More than you get on the average week, and it made for a good show here. The Cardona stuff is interesting, as well as he really does feel like a big star. It was a good week around there, and Emergence has the potential to be a very big show as well. So big that at Emergence, we will have a rematch. It will be Nick Nemeth defending the TNA Heavyweight Championship against Josh Alexander. in a 60-minute Iron Man match. How does that sound? 60-minute Iron Man match. You know how they do it. The man who scores the most decisions in 60 minutes wins the match and the TNA Heavyweight Championship. And we're getting this on a TNA Plus event? Not a major pay-per-view? Wow. Okay. I'm so glad I have that thing, let me tell you. So, 8 out of 10 for this. And this Thursday night on Impact Wrestling, we will have TNA Impact, rather. Rosemary will square off against Alicia Edwards. Another Ultimate X qualifying match, the Laredo Kid to square off against Bhupinder Gujar and Jay Vidal. And in the other Ultimate X qualifier, you're going to love this one. Frankie Kazarian versus Kushida versus Alexander Hammerstone. Whoa, okay. The Hardys against Moose and JDC, Johnny Dango Curtis. And just announced today, as a matter of fact, MF's going to love this. Jonathan Gresham versus NXT's Charlie Dempsey. What? Are you kidding me? You do not want to miss Thursday night. Let me tell you that right now. So that's the story from TNA. Let's go into the other half of the Tony's Take. That, of course, being NXT Level Up. And then we'll call it a night here. I do apologize. I'm trying to find it here. But anyways, actually, I don't really have anything to work off of when it comes to the Level Up show. But we're just going to leave it at that. And so with that being said, let's get into the future content for this week. Oh, actually, no, hold on. I got it. I did find it. Okay. I didn't look hard enough. Okay. NXT Level Up started off with Mark Coffey. Mark Coffey going up against Cutler James. And Mark Coffey wins the match in 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Pretty solid, as they gave them some time for the show and they hit each other hard. I'm intrigued by James and I would like to see him get more in-ring time. Enjoyable match. 2 3/4 of a star. Then we had Adriana Rizzo squaring off against Izzy Dame. And Adriana Rizzo in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. It was all right. I like both women. Nice seeing Dame use her power, and Rizzo is good at working from underneath as a Spitfire. Crowd really liked Rizzo as well. They were into it. 7 out of 10. 2-match format is back, and I enjoyed both matches. James Coffey was one of the better matches Level Up has offered up the entire year, and that's enough to make it a good show. So 7 out of 10 for that. And with that, now that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you Wednesday night at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Braceville 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. NXT and AEW Dynamite's final show before All In from Cardiff, Wales. Yep. So that'll be on Wednesday. Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, the season finale of our regulation TXN Sports World shows. MF will lead it off with his final Big Three report, as we have a new Big Three champion. He will recap a very exciting championship game between Three's Company and Bivouac from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. And then from there, we will preview the college football and NFL seasons. And then on Saturday night, we'll be back with the Cerebral Smack Talk. MF will have it. We'll review Friday Night SmackDown, and we will preview the AEW All In pay-per-view. We'll keep you posted on the rest of the content beyond that. And 1 week from tonight, I want to give you a programming reminder, a programming note. Next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, for 1 week only, Ridiculously Raw will be postponed to Tuesday night. We will have a special Tuesday night edition of Ridiculously Raw, as we will review Monday Night Raw from the Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode Island. And in a special Tony's Take, I will preview the TNA Plus Emergence Special, headlined by Nick Nemeth and Josh Alexander's 60-minute Iron Man match for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. As far as the future content goes, MF and I will put our heads together and we will get back to you on the next show. So until Wednesday night from Wednesday Night Madness, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, and always and forever, the first lady of our show, the one and only Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night from Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and streaming.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.